Every family has got its complexities, really. However, in toxic families, their complexities are over the top. You're going to find that one parent wants to dominate and control the other and every other situation in that marriage, while the other one wants their voice to be heard. This creates a rift. So you'll always find that this parent wants to control. A point reaches whereby they are going to try and create a division or discord between the other parent, and the children. This introduces me to the subject I'll be talking about today: parental alienation. Welcome back to my channel. It's dedicated towards creating narcissistic abuse awareness, and more so from a biblical standpoint, aka Jezebel. And I'll also be discussing other life issues. Like I'd already said, today I'll be talking about parental alienation. It has gone under the radar for so long, some people don't recognize it, and others just think that is how life is. Parental alienation, you're going to find it in narcissistic situations, and it is part of domestic violence. Parental alienation is where you're going to find a child manifesting unwarranted rejection of another parent due to psychological manipulations by the other parents, whose intention is to control and dominate. So you find that the child responds negatively towards this healthy parent, if I may. This is usually done for a couple of reasons, but I'm going to look at only two. One, isolation. The abusive parent or toxic parent usually wants to isolate the parent from the children, such that it's a type of devaluation. Please look up my video on devaluation, showing that this other parent, you are nothing, you mean nothing to me, you are low, you're useless, really. The child can make better decisions than you. It creates that atmosphere of rejection. You're not wanted, you're not needed in this place, you can leave. So it's an emotional and psychological type of abuse. It feeds on the delusional world of the toxic person, as they are superior, they are great, they are perfect. You, the alienated parent, you're the one at fault. This is all to punish that parent who has refused to conform to the toxic parent rule of law. 2, to avoid disclosure. Many a times the toxic parent is abusing the children emotionally, physically, or sexually. So by creating discord, the children are unable to reach out to the other parent, because if the other parent hates me, and this parent who is inflicting pain on me but at least shows a degree of care and love, I think I'm safer with this other parent, so I cannot even tell the other parent what this one is doing to me. You're going to see in an element of the Stockholm syndrome. This is why you realize trauma bonds are being created, where the toxic parent is showing the child moments of love. Then the next one, he's maybe sexually abusing the child, and makes the child think it is okay. Due to the chemicals involved in the entire process, the child also starts loving the alienating parent, but at the same time hates it. The fact that the child has already been assured that the healthy one doesn't love them, the child doesn't see motive or used to go and tell the parent who doesn't like them what's going on. That discord is a habitation, it's a move all abusers use, because their domain is confusion and chaos. They cannot stay in a place that is in tranquility, in peace. That is not their nature. Their nature dictates that there must be confusion. Even if there may be peace and tranquility for a day or two or a few hours, the next moment you're finding there's some discord coming up, all from them. But the whole thing when it comes to parental alienation is to make sure that the children do not tell the healthy parent the abuse that is happening behind their backs or behind closed doors. The toxic parents are going to carry out this abuse in a number of ways, and the very first one I want to look at is disparagement. In simple terms, I'll just say slandering the other parent. These toxic parents will start bad-mouthing, talking ill about the other parent. At this point, the child is being groomed to hate the other parent. Because if you're constantly hearing something negative about someone, remember they're misconstruing events and distorting them. Before you know it, you're siding with the abuser because you can't fathom the pain they are being taken through by this other parent. You think that this other toxic parent is not walking in love. Love does not slander. A person who slanders you hates you. That's what the Bible tells us. So you're really looking at a person who really doesn't care for the well-being of the child and the other person, but pretends, masks up to act like they love the child. 2, limiting contact with the healthy parent. This is why you'll find that they do not want letters, they do not want phone calls to come through. They are always monitoring the child. When the child picks the call, they are around to hear what the conversation is about. If the toxic parent is mistreating the child, he stands around or she stands around to make sure the child does not say it. You're looking at an intimidation tactic, being passive aggressive at this point. Let's say if parents have had a divorce and they need to spend time with the children. The healthy parent comes to pick the child and this parent is like, nope, the child doesn't want to see you. Even when the child, in all honesty, you see that the child wants to run to this other parent, the toxic parent refuses the child to go, or may just look at them with this intimidating look of, you go, you know what will happen to you. So the child is like, nah, I don't want to see them. I'll piggyback that one of limiting contact with the other parent. When children want to hold on to sentimental items from the other parent, this parent can hit the roof. They quarrel, they break things. This child eventually just gives up. If it was a photo, they give up the photo. If there were clothes given, they give up the clothes. They throw them or they burn them just to show this a toxic parent that they are for them. Because for them, they think in terms of black and white. There's no middle ground. There's no neutrality for them. You're either for me or against me. That trait, we see it with God only. But imagine a human being doing that. They always have that power struggle. The spirit of Jezebel doesn't rest. It wants full and total control of your being, of your spirit, of your soul. 4, they will threaten to withdraw love from the child if they continue associating with the other parent. Let's say they meet up in a neutral ground. The child wants to run and hug the parent, but they remember, if I do that, this other parent will be mad at me for running to hug them. So in the end, you find that the children just appear neutral. Sometimes they actually just reject the other parent because they know the most domineering parent is going to come at them when no one is around. 5, undermining authority. This is why you're going to find that the alienating parent will purposefully instigate the children to disrespect the other parent. This is done especially when the healthy parent is still living with the abuser. You find that the physical abuse that manifests, the verbal, the emotional abuse that manifests, children see this. And because they do not want to get on the wrong side of the abuser, when the abuser tells them to hit you or to insult you, the children will also do it. Before you know it, the children don't like you. I know it's going to be hard on some people, but children are actually innocent. Children are being programmed. They're being trained to do that. And as a parent out there, I encourage you, seek counseling. What I'm going to talk about is two-edged. The child, in their young mind, 1, they love you. 2, they don't like you. Reason being, for them, they feel that you, as their healthy parent who is the protector, you are staying in an abusive situation, so you're exposing them to danger. It means you are not as strong as they hoped you were. So by you staying in that situation, you make them reject you for that. They do not want to associate themselves with someone weak. So they'll just lean on the abusive parent because the abusive parent is strong, has an upper hand. You know, they call the shots around and everyone fears them. So they start thriving in that power that the abuser has. They can control things. No one will control them. No one will abuse them because they're in control. once that has happened, and let's say you transition into getting out, you'll find that the children still do not want to associate with you because you are a weak vessel. That's how your authority as a parent gets undermined. The children start despising you. They don't value you. This goes against what God tells us. Honor your father and mother and your days will be long. God, Father tells us his laws righteous. Children who abide to the toxic parents' teachings, to the toxic parents' trainings, they are not abiding in the law of righteousness as unto the Lord. Because here you're finding now a division. The toxic parent is a lawless person. These people are not godly. They are not godly in any way. And that's why they are going to keep creating discord, confusion, chaos. They are going to create that enmity between mother-child or father-child, so that they are in control of both parties. So even as children, you are growing up and you're in this situation, please be wise. God tells us to honor our fathers and mothers so that our days are long. That very God also tells us to honor his law in righteousness. You deciding to dishonor another parent per the request of the other parent, you are disregarding the righteous laws of the Lord. Be very mindful, be wise, seek help from people of authority who understand this. 6, parental substitution. This you're going to find the toxic parent. These people, because they are empty vessels, they need copious amounts of attention, admiration, and affirmation. They hop from one relationship to the other. They do not take time to heal. They cannot introspect because they are empty on the inside. They can't face that. Before the relationship they were in has ended, they have already secured supply elsewhere. So when when you leave, they have already settled in another. They cannot be on their own. They'll take advantage of that by alienating you from the children. They substitute you, not just in their lives, but in the children's lives. They'll tell the kids to start calling this other non-parent dad or mom. Like immediately, like it's a demand, call them that. And they refuse your children, biological children, to call you mother or father, depending on the situation. So you find that children are held in that conflicting situation. The alienating parents never give time for children to sort their issues out. Even as an adult, they don't give people time to sort out those issues. They're kind of chap, like they want you to make quick decisions. And those quick decisions usually favor them. This now step parent is being called mom or dad. Because they are under the heavy hand of the abuser, they walk that road. Still in this realm, you'll also find them telling the kids that you have 2 mothers or you have 2 fathers. And the child is left in that, do I call mommy this, mommy 1, mommy 2, daddy 1, daddy 2. How will the other dad behave? So in the end, they push these titles towards the children, and the children must comply. You'll also find them telling these other children, you know, this new mommy of yours or this new dad of yours loves you more than your mother or your father. So this distorts the children's understanding. 7, the alienating parent decides to withhold medical information or educational information regarding the child from the healthy parent. It leaves you in limbo as you do not know what's happening to your child, acting like the parent of the year, yet behind closed doors they are not close. They are not even an inch close to anything regarding a parent. Alienating the parent from social interactions with the kids. The toxic parent takes the kids to have fun, leaving you out. They go out and eat. They travel places. They go to the park. They go to the beach. They go to several different places just to make you feel left out, to neglect you. However, kids are noticing that. 9, they'll make it appear like the healthy parent is dangerous for the children. And during that time, it has taken a mental toll on you. Let's say it's a separation or a divorce. the narcissistic abuse, it has taken a mental toll on you, and you could be acting erratic at this point. And it goes to prove to the child that actually, you see, your mother or father, depending on the situation, is actually dangerous. You shouldn't be with them. Did you know that your mother wanted to kill you? Did you know that your mother wanted you to be aborted, or your father wanted you to be aborted? Your father has always wanted to kill you. Your father didn't want you. Alienating parent keeps giving the child false information about the other parent. They instill fear in the child. And from then onwards, the child just fears this other parent. They are anxious. They just being around them. The child is like, I don't want so and so. All because they have been smear campaigned. 10. Parentification. This is why you're going to find the toxic parent allowing the child to make decisions that are normally made by parents. You know it's time to go to bed at 8. The other parent will tell the kid, no, you can go anytime you want. The child says, I want to go to bed maybe at 10 or 11. And the toxic parent is like, it's cool. While you, the healthy parent, you have no say. They ask the child, what food do you want us to eat today? Tell the house help about it. They can ask the child what is missing in the house, yet the mother is right there. So the child may go around checking what would normally be done by the mother or supervised by the mother. It is now the child doing it. Here you find children carrying out not age-appropriate decisions as they should be carried out by someone mature. Similar to parentification but a little different, enmeshment. Enmeshment is where you're going to find the toxic parent starts sharing normally intimate details about his or her life with a child. So the child starts hearing, I would say at this point, gross issues that happen behind closed doors in their bedrooms. So the child is more or less elevated to that point of having emotional incest with this parent. The parent starts confiding in the child about each and everything regarding their lives. Then also you'll find this is why they are sharing different business documents with the child, yet the other parent doesn't know anything regarding it, and they are usually secretive. They tell the kids not to say anything to the other parent, so the child starts feeling they are really favored by this other toxic parent over other people. 11. Telling the children to spy on the other healthy parent. What did they do today? Where did they go? How were they dressed? You know, so each time the parent comes, you find the abusive parent has brought maybe a snack for the child. They go to the side and the child starts feeding the happenings of their alienated parent. It introduces children into the game of spying on the other parent. It also encourages children to keep secrets away from another parent. Piggy banking of 11. It teaches children to keep secrets away from the healthy parent. So children are left in that state of I'm the one favored, have a better hand with so and so. Forcing children to choose between which parent to be with or to spend more time with. So the child always feels guilty. They guilt trip children into staying with them more, telling the children that the alienated parent doesn't love them. Parental alienation takes a huge toll on children in adulthood. These are the people who have low self-esteem. They cannot maintain relationships with people in close units. They have multiple partners. They have had multiple partners, divorces, separation. They could be depressed. They suffer from substance abuse. And because of all this, you find that the children also alienate them in the long run due to these other effects. They cannot hold close relationships because theirs were distorted in childhood. So you find that these are people who cannot be with you because they think you're going to leave them. Find in the end you're looking at an intergenerational cycle of parental alienation occurring. Remember, all these abuses we talk about, the generational curse, it is the environment we have created as human beings, that we are passing this on. So for you to stay in an abusive situation, you are teaching children that it is okay for love and abuse to habitate. It is okay to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We who are born again, we are eating from the tree of life. You are of the tree of life, but still going out to pick fruits from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You are distorting the entire message of love. I know a lady whose father died, and before he died, he categorically told her not to look for her mother. This is the woman who last saw her mother when she was 3. This woman is almost 40. But the fear the father instilled in her would just make her freeze. When even just talking about it, she would freeze, as in you can even touch her fingers and they are cold, yet it's a hot day. Slowly, she has now opened up to the possibility of looking for her mother. But you can imagine all these years, decades. The other question, is her mother still alive? We don't know. But what was it? This abusive parent made sure she never asked about the mother, because she spoke of how he would be so mad if she ever asked about the mother. So for the sake of peace, she decided to keep quiet. But it had always eaten her up. What is so real about her life is that she has never settled with a man. All the men are like, you mean you don't know your mother? Like, if you don't know your mother, if you can't look for your mother. Like, before she knows it, the guy has bolted. Just that. But what was it? It came from her father. Even beyond the grave, he still ruled her. He controlled her because of the fear he instilled in her. So I encourage you people, there are some people, your parents are alive, but you've been alienated. And they portrayed your parents as so horrendous that you can't even see them. I encourage you to reflect. Go back and get the other side of the story. You'll be shocked. And I encourage you also seek therapy before you do it, because there are some things that you may discover that may send you off the edge. Because the very person you were siding with was actually the toxic person. And you may think you can mentally handle it, but this is deep. Peeling back the onion is not a walk in the park. Those out there, get information about parental alienation, get information about narcissism, educate yourself. Much as you have lost decades with this parent, remember the God we serve restores all the years the locusts have eaten. These several locusts, you realize that every step of the way in your life, God restores. Because one may have eaten the roots, the leaves, the stem, the fruit, but God still restores that. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but God is going to restore all the lost years, because he is true to his word. Surely, heaven and earth will pass away, but his word will never pass away. And at all times, I encourage you to lean on Jesus. Take your burdens, your cares, and give them to him. His plans are best. Learn to trust the Lord. Take a step at a time. And above all, be kind to yourself. When you discover this, be kind to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Blessings.